Scene.org brings you Your Distributor is Becoming Your Storefront, private equity, consolidation, and the fight for the independent artist customer. In this explainer, we're unpacking a massive shift that's happening right beneath the surface of the independent music world. For years, we've thought of our music infrastructure in this very specific, compartmentalized way. But the ground is moving. The companies we rely on to deliver our music are fundamentally changing their business models. So if you want to protect your career and honestly your relationship with your fans, you really need to understand exactly what is happening behind the scenes.
It used to be so simple, right? You'd upload a WAV file, type in your track name, attach your album art, and then just wait for the royalties to trickle in from the streaming platforms. The distributor was basically just a delivery service, like a mailbox. Today, however, these platforms are morphing into massive operating systems. They want to handle your merch, they want to build your website, split your payments, and manage your fan data. They're offering you like 17 different buttons to push to accelerate growth. And while that convenience is incredibly tempting, it definitely comes with a hidden cost.
MakingAScene.org highlights this massive battle happening literally right under your friendly analytics dashboard. All those convenient new features, well, they aren't just there to be nice. They are highly strategic moves in a turf war. The platforms realize that the stream itself might not actually be the most valuable part of the transaction anymore. A stream generates a fraction of a penny. But a dedicated fan who buys a t-shirt, a vinyl record, or a concert ticket, now that is a real, tangible commercial relationship. And right now, the platforms are fighting tooth and nail to be the ones who own that relationship, rather than letting you, the artist, own it.
So let's look at the summer of 2026, because that's when the stakes of this turf war became incredibly clear. That's when we saw a major turning point in the independent music pipeline. CVC Capital Partners, which is this massive global private markets investment firm, announced the definitive agreement to make a majority investment in DistroKid. Now, DistroKid isn't just some niche tool. It's one of the largest gateways independent musicians use globally. And when a major private equity firm steps in to take majority control of a gateway that big, it sends a crystal clear signal that the underlying value of these distributor platforms has fundamentally shifted.
What we're seeing is a rapid, industry-wide pattern of consolidation, where massive investment firms are taking over the exact pipelines independent artists rely on every single day. Look at how quickly this escalated. Back in late 2023, DistroKid acquires Bandzoogle, a website and e-commerce builder for musicians, moving straight into direct-to-fan commerce. Then, by March 2026, the Music Tech Ownership Ouroboros report maps out this massive interconnectivity and consolidation across the industry. Over that summer, Nina Protocol, a Web3 music platform, is forced to wind down, its assets swept up by SoundCloud. And then, bam, July 2026, the CVC investment in DistroKid. This is absolutely not a coincidence. It's a coordinated gold rush toward owning the complete artist-fan ecosystem. Now, let's be totally clear and completely objective here. Private equity isn't automatically evil. This doesn't mean your distributor is suddenly going to start confiscating your guitars. But, as MakingAScene.org points out, a majority investment means someone new is steering the ship. Investment firms don't pour hundreds of millions of dollars into music tech because they like your album artwork, right? They expect massive revenue growth. And while that could honestly mean better fraud detection or faster customer support, you absolutely need to prepare for potential changes in your platform's pricing, bundled features, or terms of service down the road. As distributors expand into direct-to-fan commerce, it actually becomes pretty dangerous to let your account become the only place your business history lives. Just look at how the risks scale right alongside the services. You use their print-on-demand merch service. Great, but the platform dictates the margins and takes a cut. You use their integrated website builder? Awesome, until you want to change distributors and realize your entire storefront is trapped in their walled garden. You use their landing pages to collect fan emails? You really have to ask yourself who actually owns that data. If your distributor went offline tomorrow, could you still email your top fans? If the answer is no, you've got a massive vulnerability in your business.
We need to fundamentally reframe how we think about convenience. We should be asking not just if we can sell a shirt on a platform, but if we actually gain a portable customer relationship from that sale. It is so incredibly easy to get blinded by a slick user interface. You see a shiny button that says Enable Merch Store, and you click it. But MakingAScene.org urges us to look past the storefront. Think about it. When that shirt is sold, do you get a CSV file with the buyer's name, email, location, and a clear record of their consent for you to market to them in the future? If the platform hoards that information and only gives you an aggregated dashboard metric, they are keeping the absolute most valuable part of the transaction entirely for themselves.
You've got to stop settling for rented visibility and start building a portable relationship with your fans using real contact data. Let's compare the two for a second. Rented visibility is seeing that 400 people in Chicago streamed your track. It feels great, but it's largely unactionable.
A portable relationship, on the other hand, is having the verified email addresses of 100 fans in Chicago who explicitly ask to be notified when you play a show there. One is a vanity metric controlled by a tech company, the other is a tangible, legal business asset that you can literally pack up and take with you to any email provider on the planet.
Think about your current setup like a rented filing cabinet. It's incredibly useful right up until the rent changes or the company decides to lock you out of your own career. Right now, sitting inside your distributor's dashboard, you likely have the official spellings of your tracks, your high-res album art, your ISRCs, your UPCs, collaborator payment splits, and your tax documents. That is not just dashboard clutter, that is the entirety of your business history. If you do not have that exact data saved securely outside of that platform, you don't actually have an organized catalog. You literally just have a temporary login to someone else's database.
So, how do you protect yourself? MakingAscene.org strongly recommends building a separate artist archive containing these exact non-negotiable items. This is how you take your power back. You need a dedicated, neatly organized folder system. Please do not just rely on a messy desktop full of files named Final Audio Version 3.wav. We've all been there. You need the final master recordings. You need a spreadsheet with the exact metadata, including your ISRC and UPC codes. You need written dated collaborator split sheets, because I think we agreed on 20% is definitely not an accounting system 5 years down the line. Keep your high-res artwork and consistently export your royalty statements.
You must preserve this exact metadata, because simply uploading a WAV file to a new distributor without matching your ISRCs and UPCs can completely destroy your streaming history. A lot of artists think switching distributors just means re-uploading the audio. But if you miss a single letter in the metadata, if the featured artist formatting is slightly different, or if you don't use the exact same ISRC, the streaming platforms will treat it as a brand new release. All those play counts, the playlist placements, the algorithmic momentum, gone. Poof. Changing platforms is purely a metadata matching game, and you can only win if you kept your own records.
All right, here are 3 critical steps you must take right now to separate your business assets from the technology stack you happen to be using today. First, secure at least 2 backups of that artist archive we just talked about. Keep one on a physical local drive and one on a reputable cloud backup. Second, lock it all down with unique passwords and 2-factor authentication. And third, and this is a big one, ensure that you, the artist or the core business entity, control the master email account tied to all these services. Do not leave the keys to your kingdom in the hands of a former band member, an old manager, or a buddy who offered to handle the internet stuff for you.
Now, to safely build a fan database you actually own, MakingAscene.org proposes a really smart strategy called the Fan Passport. The core idea here is all about permission and portability. You put a QR code at your merge table or maybe printed right on your physical vinyl. When a fan scans it, they don't get hit with a massive, annoying form. They get a clear, fair exchange. Give me your email and you'll get early ticket access or an exclusive unreleased track. They knowingly connect with you. You get a portable record of that relationship and their legal consent to communicate with them. This is exactly how you build a community completely outside the algorithm.
Ultimately, your distributor is just a guitar pedal that can be swapped out at any time, but your masters, your metadata, and your direct fan relationships, that is the actual song you must protect at all costs. I absolutely love this analogy from MakingAscene.org. Think of your business like a touring guitar rig. You can swap out a delay pedal, you can rent an amplifier, you can use a different cable. Your website builder, your payment processor, your distributor, those are all just pedals on the board. They might be amazing pedals that you use for 20 years, but your audience, your masters, your identity, that is the song, and you would never casually leave the song behind at the venue.
So ask yourself right now, if your distributor completely shut its doors tomorrow morning, would you still have a career on Monday? Would you still have your catalog, your metadata, and a way to email your fans? True independence isn't about doing everything yourself in a cabin in the woods. It's about having the control and the leverage to leave a platform whenever you need to, without having to rebuild from zero. Make sure you check out the other great articles and resources on makingascene.org, the place the indie artist goes to build the new music industry.